Hello there, welcome back. This is Sheepishly here once again. Today, let's go through how I crafted my amulet for the Penance Brand of Dissipation Elementalist build. Now, this amulet gives +4 levels to my Penance Brand of Dissipation, and I managed to roll T2 cast speed on it, so this is not perfect by any means. We could have hit T1 cast speed, but this amulet is still something like a 30% damage increase compared to the replica Dragon Fang I was using earlier. Coming over to the trade side, you can see that one of these amulets goes for something like 150, 160 divines. I think there was one that has a T1 cast speed, which was going for 300 divines. Now, this is a fairly deterministic craft. I definitely didn't spend 150 divines on my craft, and let me show you how. Let's get into the guide right now. Okay, coming over here to the VOD, similar to the helmet crafting video, I am just going to go over what I was doing and then explain why I was doing it, plus any tips and tricks I learned along the way. Now, the first thing is that you should be looking for a Focused Amulet. Now, this needs to be a clean base, and by clean, I mean that it is not mirrored, not corrupted, there is no influence on it, and there's no fractured mod on it. And very importantly for this craft, you also want the base to be not split. The last bit is actually very important, and it's going to save you a lot of money for this craft. Do not buy a split Focus Amulet. Lastly, when you're shopping for the amulet base, make sure to get one that's at least eye level 75, the lower the better. So this one looks pretty good, I'm just going to buy it and head back to hideout for step number 2. Okay, coming back into the hideout, moving straight on to step number 2. Step number 2 is quite straightforward. We want to chaos spam the amulet until we can hit the +1 to level of all skill gems mod. Now, this is not an easy one to hit. I think it's something like a 1 in 800, so good luck with that, or roughly 0.13% chance. Now, this is definitely one of the high variance parts of the craft. You can definitely spend something like 1,500 chaoses without seeing the mod. One of the tips is that this league we actually have an improvement to the alchemy orb as well as the orb of scouring, which is actually superior to the chaos orb because it is cheaper. The way to do it is that you want to be holding down your shift button, as I'm doing on the screen here, and you click alchemy orb onto the amulet. That's going to make it rare, and then you're going to press Alt. This is instead going to select the Orb of Scouring, and then you can just click to make this back into a normal item, and then you can release your finger that's holding down Alt, so you go back to actually using an Alchemy Orb, and then you can just alch it again to make it rare. So you actually save quite a lot of money this way. I think Alchemies are something like 1 to 10 for Chaos, and Orb of Scouring is like 1 to 3. So you're saving essentially 50% of the crafting cost for this step. Okay, at this point I think I've been rolling this amulet for like 10 minutes. I think we're about to hit the mod, if memory serves, any minute now. There you go. You have your +2 level of all skill gems. However, we have to isolate this mod. And this is the hard part. There's nothing to do here except to YOLO or no. You want to remove any mod that is not the plus level to all skill gems. And there we go, we removed, I think, let me go back a little bit. Yeah, we removed the element resistance one. So now it is a clean base. We can go on to step number 3. Now for step number 3, the first thing we want to do is to purchase a split beast. This is called a Menu Plague Arachnid, if I'm pronouncing it correctly from trade. These are very cheap, by the way, this league, something like less than 10 chaos. You can see me looking for it. Okay, only 7C, there you go. So buy that and head over to the Menagerie. When you're in the Menagerie, just come over to the Blood Altar. The craft you're looking for is to split an item into 2 items with half the mods on each item, and this is the reason why we don't want to buy a base with a split tag on it, because if your item's already split, you cannot split this again. Okay, let's pause the video there. You can see that now we've successfully isolated the +2 to level of all skill gems. Plus, now you have another Focus Amulet, which you can sell back for roughly around half the price of the base you initially purchased, so we do get to make a little bit of our money back from this craft. Okay, on to step number 4. We want to come over here to the crafting bench and craft on cannot roll attack modifiers. Like so. Next, we're going to come over here to the harvest bench and we're going to do add or remove Phys mod. Now, the way the harvest crafting works is that it's going to add a physical modifier, and because we've blocked all the attack modifiers, the only mod it can add is +1 to all physical skill gems. That's perfect. The hard part is the second line of this craft, which says that it will remove another random modifier from a non-influence item, which means that on this item, it will have two viable mods to remove. The first one is cannot roll attack mods. We wanted to remove this mod, because the other option is to remove the +2 to level of all skill gems. And we lost the 50-50. Poof, this item is now gone. But that's okay, because we still have a very small chance of exalting back on the +1 to all skill gems. It's a 1 in 800. Let's see how we go. Yep, no such luck. So now this item is completely dead. We can send this to Faustus. Hopefully you can recoup most of your cost this way, and then you just have to go again and start from another base. Okay, coming over here to attempt number 2, we've managed to sell the amulets we're crafting on before, so we do have money to buy another one. Again, we're looking for the same thing here. Eye level 75 plus, clean base, Focused Amulet. That is not split, so this one looks pretty good. Let's grab that and head back to the hideout. Okay, and repeating step number 2, we are going to be chaos spamming this until we hit +1 to all skill gems. And in my case, instead of using chaos orbs, we're using Orb of Alchemy and Orb of Scaring. I think this is one of the best quality of life updates GGG has ever done, especially for crafters. This is just so much better than, oh, there you go. We managed to hit +2 to level of skill gems really fast. I think that was something like 50 attempts maybe, which means we can move on to step number 3, which is to use the Split Beast. Now, coming over to Menagerie once again, and using the Split Beast option, we're going to isolate the +2 to all skill gems, like so. Once again, you've generated another base of Focused Amulet, which you can sell back to the market and recoup something like 50% of your initial investment. And now we have a clean Focused Amulet with +2 to level of all skill gems. We can move on to step number 4. I might move through this a little bit quickly because you know what we have to do here. We're gonna craft on cannot roll attack modifiers from the crafting bench, and coming over here to the harvest crafting bench, we're gonna be looking for add a Phys modifier. Again, there's a 50-50 odds of success, and we succeeded. There you go. We're gonna come back to the crafting bench, we're gonna craft on prefix can't be changed, and we're gonna come back to the harvest bench for the last time and reforge caster. Now, I might just pause the video here. In previous leagues, what people will do at this step is to reforge crit, in the hopes of hitting a T1 crit multi. Now, that is a 1 in 12 to hit, and that's because there's 6 tiers of crit chance mods, and then there's another 6 tiers of crit multi mods. You're really rolling the die on this one. Now, the odds are that you're not gonna hit crit multi, and even if you do, it's gonna be a fairly low tier anyways. And the reason people in previous leagues will go for this method is because they could have used Imprint Beast to save the +2 to level of all skill gems, but in 3.27, GGG has nerfed that crafting method, so if we try to roll for crit chance and we miss, this amulet is again dead, and we have to start from scratch. Now, reforging caster is a much better alternative because firstly, there's only one caster mod in your suffix pool, and that is cast speed. Secondly, there's only 4 tiers of cast speed, which gives you a 50% chance of hitting tier 2 cast speed or higher. Thirdly, Penance Brand of Dissipation scales very well with cast speed. Not only does cast speed increases your damage output, it also makes your Penance Brand build up energy faster on targets, and that's gonna make your mapping gameplay so much smoother and allow you to ramp up faster on bosses. So feel free to POB it if you want to, but trust me, cast speed is the way to go, at least for our build. Okay, let's click this. Bam, there you go. T2 cast speed. It's a 50% chance of hitting T2 or higher. We kind of won. And that's done. All that's left to do now is to divine it to perfect, and then to apply catalysts to increase the cast speed even more. Well, there you go. Here's the finished product once again with T2 cast speed, +2 to all skill gems, and +2 to all physical skill gems. With this amulet, we now push the level of our Penance Brand to level 30, and level 30 is the breakpoint for most spell skill gem scaling, after which the gem level scaling will reduce in efficiency by half, I believe. So getting to level 30 on your Penance Brand, it's definitely something you want to aim towards. Well, that's it. Thanks for watching. As always, if you enjoyed my content or found it helpful, please like and subscribe. And if you want to share your crafting experiences, please leave a comment below as well. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.